All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Keep going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up, movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up, movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Guess what happened? Bitcoin hit another all-time high today. That's right. Bitcoin, $112,000 for one Bitcoin. And Doge got up to 24.5. And some are wondering, oh, last December, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high and Doge was at 40 cents. Now Bitcoin's hitting another all-time high and Doge is only at 24. Yep, we've been talking about it for months while that's been happening and all the reasons why. But some of you are still upset about it. It is what it is. The question is, what are you going to do about it now? So we're going to look at trading patterns, just patterns of different things. And then you make up your mind on what you think the next move is. I think I know what might happen, but I've been known to be wrong. I'm still in the middle of a swing trade, and I'm like, that may not work well for me, but hey, you know how it goes. So we're going to do all of that. But I want to see how you guys are doing. Bitcoin dominance is not slowing us down. It's Bitcoin itself. Dominance is a reflection of what's happening. Bitcoin dominance doesn't lead, it follows. It's the reaction to how Bitcoin trades versus how everything else trades. So, again, I get your point though, Cybershots. It's the right point, but just reverse it, and it's just like Bitcoin has all the banks right now, right? The banks are buying it. The institutions are buying it. Big companies are buying it. And most of those are not buying alts, right? So Bitcoin dominance. There you go. Retail isn't here yet. Now we got some tax cuts maybe coming for the United States, right? And some people are going to be thinking, I'm going to have some extra money. Again, not yet. We don't have stimmy checks, right? We don't have all that extra money in our pockets to go chase all of these. So basically all we're doing is taking money from one alt, right, and putting it into another alt, right? Right? Just trying to chase the next big thing. Well, Bitcoin just churns away as more and more big banks, big institutions, governments, big companies continue to buy Bitcoin, because that's what the narrative has been over the past 6 months. So that's where we are. What are you going to do about it now? Maybe you should just go and buy some Bitcoin, like our friend Anthony. I just told him a few days ago. It's like, Anthony, just go buy Bitcoin then. If you're just going to complain about the difference between Bitcoin and Doge, just go buy Bitcoin. Right? As I said, the next part of this bull cycle is going to be a bull run, and Dogecoin is going to outperform just about everything. That's where I stand, and I'm committed to that. It's going to happen when you least expect it. And Bitcoin dominance is then going to go down because everyone's going to be FOMOing into Doge, and then the real alt season begins. That's my narrative of it. I know what's happened in the past. We've talked about it. We've been talking about it for months. And congrats. Yep. We were doing golf claps yesterday. Golf clap. Yep. Congratulations, Bitcoin. Did it again. Congrats. Golf clap. Oh, yes. The inverse demon phoenix troll pattern. Exactly. It's coming, Lucifer. You're absolutely right. And yes, my wallet is 20 Dogecoin richer today than it was yesterday. Thanks to the New York choke last night for you basketball fans. That was a very entertaining game, I will say. I'll just leave it at that. Galaxy says, hey, the Pacers made me some money yesterday, and I'm from New York City. So, exactly. You vote with your pocket, not with your heart, right? You vote and you bet according to your pocket. If you bet according to your heart, you'll lose most times. You'll just lose. So, yeah. To win $96. Bruce and Monica are here from sunny Miami. How you guys doing? Happy Thursday, Danny. Matt, hey, how are you? Would the Dogecoin ETF be a big enough catalyst to get Dogecoin above its all-time high? Or would we need X payments as well? Or something? We'll talk about that a little bit. Something brewing, maybe. The ETF will help. That'll give us slow and steady Dogecoin buying, but probably not the huge catalyst. The dip into 22 cents seems likely. That's what I'm looking at, T. What's up, Jaded? Shawing, baby, shawing. Exactly, DC bundles. Shawing. Air Lorian, how are you? Last night, as we were moving, no one was streaming. No one was streaming last night. I'm going to do a late stream. Another late stream is going to come up soon. Another late stream. Do you have Doge? Yes, I have Doge. My swing trade was just a small part of my bigger bag. We got to switch Doge to a stable coin for the $1 mark. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Let's see, 50-cent Doge. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. Yes, I did celebrate with a post this morning. Dogecoin Pizza Day, yes. For those that don't know, 15 years ago today, I'm sorry, Bitcoin Pizza Day. It's Bitcoin Pizza Day. Bitcoin Pizza Day, 15 years ago on May 22nd, 2010, Laszlo Hanyas bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. The first known purchase of goods using Bitcoin. And of course, today, those pizzas are worth over $1 billion. $1 billion worth of pizza. Of course, they ate it 15 years ago and it's gone, right? I've got some dough rising in the kitchen to celebrate making my own pizza. Yes, we're having pizza tonight. Pizza. Bitcoin Pizza Day. I did make a whole video in all the detail about Bitcoin Pizza Day. Is it still on my channel? Or is that under my last channel? Now I'm like, did I have Bitcoin Pizza Day? That may have been. They may have been my old channel. I don't have it on this channel. I'm gonna have to post that. Bitcoin Pizza. Don't have it. Well, will you look at that? Do not have it. I'll have to repost that for you guys that want it to see it. Because I did go into detail in that video about how the whole transaction went. Because it wasn't Laszlo going down to Papagino's and giving them 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza. It didn't quite work that way. Do you think Bitcoin will move out? Well, will money move? Do you think money will move out of Bitcoin to other coins? I don't think money's going to move out of Bitcoin. Not much. There may be a little bit. There may be some small percentage of retail traders that may sell Bitcoin after another big move and rotate into alts. But it's going to be a small thing. So I'm looking forward to another dip, Darth Mike. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We're back to 23.9 on Doge here. But that's still what I'm targeting. Pizza. Yep. In a couple hours, I will be eating some pizza myself. Well, 2.5 hours. We'll see how long we go. Mark my words, Killjoy says. Mark my words. Dogecoin will outperform everything. Yep. It will do that. That's coming. You're going to drink a Yingling? Enjoy that. Buy some pizza with Doge so you can regret it in the future. Yeah. How many Doge for that pizza? Now, if you had bought it in 2020, right? If you had bought that pizza with Dogecoin, right? When Doge was at like 0.002, that would have been a lot of Dogecoin. That would have been a lot of Dogecoin. Is Doge going to drop now and then rally again? I still think there is another big dip in store for Doge. We always see it. A dip before the rip. Aside from all the TA, the leverage heat map is one of the greatest you've learned. Yep, we will look at the heat maps again in a little bit. Am I going to be streaming from the Bitcoin conference? I will not be streaming, but I will be filming and I will be putting some videos together so you all get a flavor of what's going on in Vegas for the Bitcoin conference. Because people don't do that. You just don't see like the general kind of vibe of what the place is about. And I'm going to try and capture some of that. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yes, Darth Mike. He sent the Bitcoin to another guy who then bought the pizza and had it delivered to Laszlo. Good evening, DB. James, looking at Doge, ADA, Link, MOG, and Bonk. Yep, that's the same portfolio you had the other day when you posted it. Still holding that MOG. Okay. Good luck with that MOG. Hey, BP, I am an architect. I'm an architect. Still working. Still working. Still putting some money into that 401k, as well as my twice a month paycheck. Basically, I keep doing it though for all the benefits, you know, I've got the health insurance and all of that. So doing that. But next week is vacation and I still get paid to be in Vegas for the week. And I still get paid because it's paid vacation. Once I retire and that goes away, then it'll be different. But right now it's a paid vacation. So I'll still be getting paid while hanging out in Vegas. Alts are not showing any strength. Ali. Bitcoin is up 1.5%. Dogecoin is up 2.5%. ETH is up 3.5%. Algorand is up 4.5%. Harmony One is up 8%. So I don't know what you're looking at, Ali, but alts are outperforming Bitcoin again today, even though Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high. I'm just saying, there's a whole narrative there about perception, and it's like alts are slowly outperforming Bitcoin. Let's go to the 2-hour chart, and let's go down to Bitcoin dominance, and you will see Bitcoin dominance again today here, down. It has been up before, but we're looking for that reversal, which we had back here when Bitcoin dominance went from 65.5, went all the way down to 62. We're looking for that next, Bitcoin recovers a bit. We're looking for that next move down in Bitcoin dominance. But just on today, Bitcoin dominance is down for the day. It's in the red. Okay? So we'll keep checking on that. But even on a day when Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, alts have outperformed Bitcoin. Not by a lot, not a huge thing, but some. Yeah, it wasn't SWI itself. It seemed to be some third-party thing that got hacked, and SWI did have a nosedive. It was very quick, though. It was very quick from what I saw. Big tail, a big wick, all the way down to $3.60, now back up to $3.86. But yeah, that was not a good morning for SWI. For those wanting to buy SWI, well, this morning at around 9 o'clock was the time to buy on that big, huge dip. We'll see what happens here before too long, whether SWI still kind of goes down a bit, as I guess like 70% of it got recovered or frozen or locked or something, but the rest of it is probably gone. Gone. Hey, Metal, are you buying at 23.9? Am I buying at 23.9? No, I'm not buying at 23.9. I sold at 23.3. I would like to buy at 22.9, or maybe even something lower. So we'll see whether that happens. But yeah, I sold right here, 23.3. After that big green candle, I sold on the green candle. It went up a little higher, then had a big red drop. I thought that was going to be more of a sell-off than what actually happened. And Doge turned around and just went up higher. That is the risk of swing trading. And so far, it's making me look pretty bad. Again, just a small part of my portfolio on the swing trade. Not my whole bag of Doge. I didn't sell all my Doge. No, just small part. It just looked to me like we're going to see another dip. And so, waiting for that dip to happen. What's up, Blake? Faizan, just a ballpark figure. Would you know around what value that dip's going to be around? I wish I knew. I mean, yesterday I got faked out. I thought it was going to 21.9, and I was all set to buy in at 21.9, and it didn't. It only went down to 22.2, 22.3, and turned around. But I was targeting 21.9. That was my target for the dip, and it didn't go there. So it made me look bad yesterday, but I'm okay. I'm like still ready to buy back on a dip. I'll be patient. I think the reason most people complain is that they buy on a breakout and then sell on a downtrend. Exactly. They do the opposite. They buy on the green candles and then sell on the red candles. That is working right into fear, which is what the market makers want you to do. Toss sold half your Bitcoin to buy more Doge and Jasmine. Toss is getting in early on that alt train. From your experience of past bull markets like 2021, alts usually lag a few days behind Bitcoin. Yes, DC Bundles, a paid vacation. As a trader, you are always able to continue this because you have done the work to learn and earn remotely. But until I stop working, I can enjoy my paid vacations. Yeah, Nico says 20-cent max on the dip. Hello, Kevin. Zetless, buy the dip. To play devil's advocate, and if it doesn't dip again, what do you do? Well, I take that money and I buy something else then. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. My predictions have been pretty good. Pretty good. But the 8-ball knows all. Exactly. Ramon, my day is going great. Memorial Day weekend, watching the Indy 500 on Sunday. Yes, Sunday, the Indy 500 with the Dogecoin car, the number 30 car. You got to watch it. You got to see it. Devlin DeFrancesco, friend of the Doge family, part of the Doge family now. Indy 500. The rain we're having is supposed to linger till Saturday, so kind of a cold, yucky start to the weekend. Memorial Day is going to be nice, but I've got to cut it short because I got a flight to catch to Vegas. So that's my weekend. It's going to go pretty quick. Buy socks. I can't stand how everybody calls it trading. If you're trading, you're getting wrecked. I know. I don't really trade. I did this little swing trade, though. I thought the chart was set up with a pattern that was going to come back to 21.9. So sell at 23.3, buy back at 21.9, and it didn't play out. That's the risk of a swing trade right there. That was the risk. But I thought it was coming back to that level right below 22 cents. It was all set up to come right down there, all set to buy in. I missed it. And Bitcoin is still showing a lot of strength up here at over $110,000. And Bitcoin isn't looking to do any big retraces right now. Stocks generally are in the green, so the stock market isn't doing any nosedives. So that's what we have right now. All right, let's get to it. Tonight is the big Trump dinner for the top holders of the Trump token. Again, another one that I missed. I was looking for Trump token to go to $16. That was my target, and it didn't make it. It didn't make it. It went up to 15.8, and now, again, it's just one of those things, right? It's happening right now. It is a big nosedive drop in the Trump token happening right now. Big red candle. Now down to $14.50. Right before the big Trump dinner. It was so close. It was like 15.8, 15.9. And I was like, okay, it's almost there. Time for me to sell. I'm going to sell that Trump token, my cherished Trump collectibles, before the dinner. And it didn't hit my target. It didn't hit. It was so close. And now look what's happening. Looks like I'm stuck with those stupid Trump collectibles for a little longer. Yeah, if people didn't make the list, are they selling? Yeah, I don't know when the list was closed of how many people, whatever the top number of people were. Justin Sun's at the top of the list. Justin Sun bought in big time. So he'll be there tonight, Mar-a-Lago. Or, no, I guess it's in D.C., right? Not Mar-a-Lago. It's at his golf club or something. So, yeah, I'll hold my stupid Trump collectibles a little longer. But yeah, that's what's happening right now. Big drop. Big drop. I mean, from the high at about 2 o'clock this afternoon to the bottom of the drop, that was like 12%. Big 12% drop right there. Ouch. Hey, sometimes it's about timing too. Remember, it's not timing the market, but it's time in the market. Well, that doesn't always apply to crypto. Doesn't always apply to crypto. So we got that thing going on. Vivek says, hey, Bitcoin is pumping again. $120,000. Is that happening today? So we get, some exuberance with the Bitcoin fans. 120K. And Alva, the AI, Alva is the new finance AI on X, pushing to $120,000 today is a stretch. It's a stretch. Yes, ETF inflows, institutional demand are real. Social sentiment is max bullish, but technicals point to a likely pause or pullback as profit takers eye exits. If a major short squeeze or headline hits, 120K could get tagged, but odds favor consolidation or a minor correction first. So that's what the AI says. Minor correction. Still waiting for that minor correction to happen. The trend on Bitcoin is still up, but we will watch. For those just joining, this was the new all-time high at $112,000 for Bitcoin that was hit earlier this afternoon. $112,000, touched it, came back, tried again, didn't quite make it, and then a little bit of a dip. I think the Trump coin will have a pump later once the dinner is over and Trump speaks about how well it went. Maybe. Trump has to pay for dinner in some way. They are eating people's money for dinner. Exactly. Stucked. That's me. Stucked. We'll see if it goes up. When Trump speaks about things, they generally don't go up. Duh, right? Duh. Would this be considered monetizing the presidency? Well, I think half the people in the country think so. Is Trump having fun with it? Sure he is. Curious how they know the ID of the top Trump holders and how they contacted them. I think they basically said, these are the top wallets. If you own the wallets, contact us. And in fact, I did see this morning on X that there were a couple people who don't want to be doxxed, right? They don't want to be doxxed, but yet they want to go to the dinner because they're one of the top Trump token holders, but their public name is anonymous, right? So no one knows who they are. What are they going to do? Yeah, so whoever the people are who are organizing the thing basically published the list of the top holders who would get an invite, and the holders had to contact them. Because there's no way to know. All you see is a wallet, right? You don't know who owns that wallet. Trump coin is going to go off. Trump wants his coin to boom. You're in at 11. Yeah, I'm in at 32. It's the whale pulled up to the dinner he sold out. Maybe that was the big dump, right? You're already on the list. It's all set. So now I dump my tokens. Boss Destroyer, how are you? Happy birthday, Luca. How's the heat map looking? Well, let's take a look. And then I'll get back to the trading patterns. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Well, on Binance for Bitcoin right now, it did take out some shorts at 111,937, $115 million. There's not a lot more up here, though. These are, I mean, I guess at 112.8 and 113, there's a couple lines. The bigger ones are down here, though. The bigger ones are the leveraged longs, particularly at 108.5. $168 million right there on that leveraged long. 108.5. It just seems to me, that is a target. Yeah, CYR. I don't look at other tokens outside of the top 100 unless there's a super chat. That's just the way this channel is. So yeah, Oz, that would be the target, would be 108.5 on a dip. 108.592. On the heat map. Right now it's at 111. Looks like it might not hold 111 even. So we will be watching. Trump will take credit for the 112K Bitcoin. Yep, he will. He will do that. Do you buy the Trump dump? Do you want to get in? Do you want to get in on the Trump collectibles now on the dip? It did hit $14. Now it's recovering, though. People are buying it. You're right. Stock boom. People are buying the Trump dip right now. It is coming back up. Interesting. Yeah, he's not having it at the White House. That's what I heard. I think he's having it at his club, local club somewhere. Poor people like most of us still laughing about this thief from the president. That's true. That's true. I think your 32 will hit. I don't see it. But on a brighter note, Kriss is up 20 Doge on a sports bet. Yes, I am. Thank you, Ryan. Jack entered a swing trade at 111.6, waiting for 108.5. That's the number, exactly. Jack's got it. 108.5. That is the number right there. 108.5. That would be a good swing trade. I agree with that if I was going to swing trade Bitcoin. But I'm still in the middle of a swing trade on Doge. So if Bitcoin wants to go down to 1085, take Doge down to the 21s, I won't be upset. Buy back in and I'm good. But I usually don't want to root for Dogecoin's price going down. That's why I never short Doge. I don't want it to go down. But at the same time, I did this little swing trade and I'd like to see it play out. Boss Destroyer wants 25-cent Doge for his birthday in 3 days. Your birthday is on Indy 500 day. Good afternoon, CDC. Campo has 1 Trump collectible. Yeah, I've got 100 Trump collectibles. 108 BTC might correlate to a 22-cent Doge or 21.9 on a dip, as I would see happening. 21.9. Yeah, Monero. What's up with Monero, Tim? I thought Monero was totally getting shut out by a bunch of exchanges because that whole security thing, or maybe that was the old SEC. Now the new SEC isn't against Monero so much. So meanwhile, some crypto trader says Bitcoin has entered price discovery. Well, we all have. Updates outlook on ETH, Solana, and Dogecoin. This is our friend Ali. So here's what Ali does. Bitcoin is trading at new all-time highs, entering price discovery. The next key levels to watch are 116, 126, 136, and 148. Because he's got some lines on a chart that are at those levels, 116, 126, 136, 148. There's no science behind this. They're just numbers on a chart. It's like, what do you mean, key levels? They're just lines. Oh, but you know it's the fib, right? It's the fib. Okay, so I go to my Bitcoin chart, right? I say, okay, let's do a fib thing. So here it is. Here's my fib thing. I went from the previous high of 109.6, right? And I went down to the dip low down here at 74.7, right? And I made my own fib line of what I believe you should do, right? Right? And it says the 1.618 fib line is 131. That is the key level, is 131, which is not the same as 126 or 136. So I should just say and post, well, KrissPax says the key level is 131 based on the 1.618 fib. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's price discovery. Bitcoin has never traded up here before. There's no levels. There's no levels. The only levels there are is if you look at the heat map and you go, here's the levels. The next level is 112,841, where there's almost $100 million of shorts that would get liquidated at that level. It's not fib retracement or whatever they call them when it goes up. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. You don't trade on that. Oh, it's got to hit the golden pocket, the 1.618 or the 1. It doesn't matter. That's why I use the heat maps. And that's why I think 1085 is in play for Bitcoin. right there. But hey, it looks pretty. It looks nice. And if I posted this, there'll be a lot of people who believe it. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, KrissPax did the fib line. And yeah, 1.618. That makes sense. 130, 131. All right, let's go. 131, key level. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so there's that. Ali, our friend Ali. Trader Tardigrade says, hey, look, Bitcoin follow-through surge. So we have resistance, we have a breakout. That's the surge. We have resistance, we have a breakout. That's the follow-through surge. And the next one, resistance and the breakout we are in right now. How high is that going to go? Alan says, Bitcoin is passing a resistance formed by multiple touches. History suggests this leads to a follow-through surge in Bitcoin. How high that goes? I don't know. Maybe it's the 1.618 fib at 131. Or maybe it's one of Ali's numbers. We don't know. Price discovery. Never traded here before. And for Doge, again, Alan, he's really getting into his colors. They're just, his charts are more and more colorful every time. He thinks we've done the recovery phase in green and we're about to go into the pink markup phase, right? As we did last November into December. And we could be in this next markup phase, but we need a catalyst for that to happen. We need a catalyst. So there's that. He's also pointing to, on the daily, a big cup and handle. Now, has that really happened? I mean, with his colors and his lines, it looks kind of like one. We were kind of drawing this the other day, like if that really played out, it kind of looks like it might play out. Cup and handle. For those that are into those kinds of patterns, what does that mean? Well, as soon as it finishes the handle, it should maybe do a little retrace and then pump higher. Maybe. Maybe. So there's another pattern. Bitcoin LFG. Now see, this is X at its finest. Big breaking. Tesla to accept Bitcoin payments again by next month, says sources. Sources? Who said that? Or did you just make it up? And then he says, huge if true. And it's like, nobody has said that. Nobody has said that Tesla's going to accept Bitcoin payments again in the next month. Nobody has said that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here with the whole Tesla thing. But I did note back in January, this is one of the potential catalysts that Dogecoin has, because we've seen the code on the car payments for Teslas has the word Dogecoin in it, not Bitcoin. So maybe he actually means Tesla to accept Dogecoin payments. We'll see. We'll see. Tesla back on Bitcoin would change the game and light up the whole market. It would certainly do that, but how likely is that to happen? Don't know. Meanwhile, Tesla Rand says Doge at 24 cents is still undervalued. Big things yet to come. It's good to hold a bag of Dogecoin. And the House of Doge responded and said, yep, be long or be wrong. Did you get that? Be long or be wrong. Don't short Dogecoin. Be long. But yeah, House of Doge there. I think they're hanging out in Indianapolis, ready for the Indy 500. They're all going to be there. Tim Stebbing is on his way after his Toronto trip, heading down to Indianapolis. So there is going to be a lot of Dogecoin presence in Indy for the 500 on Sunday. Probably drinking those MyJones Dogecoin sodas. And 21 Million Crypto says Doge to $1, and then to $2.40, and then to $4.20, and then at least to $6.90. Only this year, the Everything app is coming. Elon Musk, we are here, loyal soldiers waiting for you. Tesla, SpaceX, KrissPax. And here he's showing a clip from one of my live streams. There I am, showing the robotaxi with the Doge on the display. Wouldn't this be big? Wouldn't this be big? So that's pretty cool. Took a clip from one of my past live streams from inside the robotaxi. Will the robotaxi accept Dogecoin as payment? Interesting. The boring tunnel does it. I don't know how that works in Vegas. I'd like to try that out, though. Maybe I will if I find some time next week to go check out the boring tunnel and just take a ride. Pay with some Doge. We'll see how that works out. I got a lot to do next week. It's going to be a tight schedule, but that would be fun. I want to see the Sphere. Definitely, of course, the Venetian, because I helped design it and supervised its construction. So that hits home with me. It's good to see a project I worked on for over 4 years. Good to go out and see it again. And that's kind of part of the reason I'm going next week also, is because the Bitcoin conference is going to be at the Venetian, which I worked on from 1997 to 2000. It opened in May 1999, but there was still some follow-up work that needed to be done. They just needed to get the thing open and get that casino open. But yeah, it'll be fun to go out and see it again. Haven't been out in Vegas for a while. See how the building is holding up, and then have fun Bitcoin conference. So that's next week. And then we got these Doge ETFs. They're not delayed. No. But this article says the Dogecoin ETF delay fails to dampen bullish momentum as Doge price eyes 26 cents. But again, as I said, SEC most likely is going to take their whole 240 days to review the ETF application, which puts it out into October, as I've said, which is why I'm still so bullish on the fall. Not so much on the summer, but I could be surprised. If a catalyst hits during the summer, let's go. Let's go. So that's what we've got. How's everybody doing? Everybody should be liking the stream, as the Aesthetic Car says. 68 likes is weak. 68. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Keeping it real here as much as we can. The sources. His uncle works at Tesla. I don't even think they would know. I don't think they would even know. Yeah, look at your narrow CYR. How is Doge doing? Is this a spring charging for our pump? Tight volatility? Doge could go crazy at any time. Can you make a Telegram group or something? No. I am not involved in Telegram at all. That's where the scammers and the hackers all hang out. Not doing it. Not doing it. Our community is here on YouTube. Also on X. You can participate there. But mainly it's our just about daily gathering here on the live stream is where we get together. Robinhood added Moodang and Mew. Did they really? Oh my God. Not Algorand and Hedera? Like legitimate projects? No offense to the Moodang fans, but, you know, I did just boot one recently. God. Really? Crypto. Tradable cryptos. See what we got. Tradable crypto list. There's the Trump. There's the dog of hat. There's the pudgy penguins. There's the pop cat. There's the peanut, the squirrel. There's the Mew, and there's the Moodang. Mew is up 12%. Moodang is up 20% because of frickin' Robinhood. Moodang up 20%. Didn't see that coming. Wow. Didn't see that coming. But those are Ali key levels. I know, right? The golden ratio, a bunch of mystic mumbo jumbo. It's a coincidence if it actually hits those lines on these guys' charts, or before they print the charts, they change them to make the narrative work for them. Just move the lines around. Oh yeah, it hit it. Perfect. Not the best idea to swing trade the parabolic phase. But we're not in the parabolic phase yet. Dogecoin has had an up and down pattern. And I'm expecting that to still happen. Yep, definitely no Telegram. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Telegram. No. Can you make a list of all possible catalysts? The Bitcoin conference is not a catalyst for Doge. Definitely not. You've got it going right there. X payments will pump Doge, even if Doge isn't on it to begin with. An ETF will pump it. Tesla will pump it. House of Doge, we've been watching, slowly building. There'll be some big news, could pump it. Those are all catalysts. Nicholas, you sold a little bit at 23, thinking would go back to 21, still waiting. Welcome to my world. I'm in the same position. Be long or be wrong. Well, I'm a little wrong on the swing trade, Ryan. Oh, our good friend Maxine Waters. Stop Trump in the Crypto Act. Prevent the president and his immediate family from profiting off crypto ventures while he serves in office. Unfortunately, they don't have the votes for that, so selling off some for the car. Yeah, good luck with that. My portfolio is 100% Doge now. Sold all but Doge to get the car. Yeah, that's how I did it with the house. I sold just about everything else. And then I just sold enough Doge that I needed to top off for the house. Yes, I know we talked about this yesterday. But the Doge and other alts are still outperforming Bitcoin, starts and stops, waiting for the big run. If people don't understand, they're flashing new coins in front of your eyes, so you sell all your old bags. Try Moon Doggies when you get to Vegas, the best pizza in town. I'm going to be sticking on the Strip right near the Venetian. I'm not going very far away. So won't have a car. Venetian is 5-star. I was one of the lead project architects for all the stuff on the outside you see, the big lagoon, the bridges, the Campanile Tower, the St. Mark's retail building that has the, well, the second floor is the Tussauds. They don't call it Wax Museum, but it is a wax museum for Tussauds with Sophia or whatever on the first floor. And then the of course the big bridge that goes over the entrance road, modeled after the Rialto Bridge, got the moving sidewalks on it. Yeah, I did all of that stuff. That was me. Can I show the expected movement for Doge? I can certainly give it a try, but what I would expect would be something on the order of here that, still coming around 24 or so, probably dropping a bit, reclaiming, and maybe something that might dip like that. That's what I would expect. Reclaim this, and somewhere along the line, it's going to come back to that level, I think. And that's where I would be looking to buy back in. Is there going to be that much weakness in the market? Is Bitcoin going to retrace something like that? I don't know, but that is the kind of movement that could happen. I was expecting that to actually happen here, and it didn't. But that would be the type of movement I would be looking for Doge. But part of me just doesn't want Doge to go down. So that's only the selfish side of me that wants to finish my swing trade, buy back in at a lower price. Right around this phase up here, like 22.7, I just might go ahead and buy back in there. At least I bought back in lower than where I sold. I don't know if it's going to play all the way down there or not. We'll see how I feel at the time. Hey, and if it's not successful, it's not successful. That can happen. Again, proves the point that swing trading isn't always the best move. It looks easy in hindsight, looking back. Oh, I should have sold there and bought back in here. Well, you don't know when that's happening live that movement is going to happen. I thought maybe we might mimic that exact move there, and it just didn't play out all the way like I thought. That's why I said I don't swing trade. I thought it was set up to do something like that. You're welcome, Faison. Hey, Forks. Yeah, Matt, going forward, I'm going to be like a once a month thing because I still have my quarterly pre-tax payments I need to make. And I have to save for that because I made a lot of profit. A lot of profit this year back in January when I sold all that crypto. And I've got to do pre-tax payments to prepare for that and pay as much of that tax and pre-tax as I can based on me and my accountant's estimate of how big my tax bill is going to be. If you don't do that, then you could be facing a bit of a penalty for not doing that pre-tax because I have a business also. So yeah, Byron sold 15,000 Doge at 23 for a swing trade. Now stuck. I just answered my thoughts on 21.6 to 21.9, but we'll see. Slow but steady rise. New plan is to buy an up-and-coming meme and then sell it when Robinhood lists it. Except you don't know which. I mean, come on. Moodang. Seriously, Robinhood? Hey, there you are, CYR. Nero. Okay. This is Nero ETH, right? I'm guessing this is Nero ETH as trading on Binance. It's now at 0.0005. It's not been following Bitcoin up. It's just been going sideways for the past couple days. Let's zoom out a bit. Wow, this had this big run here earlier in May. So from 0.0002 up to that's up 180% from there. Look at that. That's a pretty good run. So it looks like it went on this first run, took a breather, and then went higher. A lot of selling, but then because the volume, I mean, look at the volume on this trading. The volume is huge. So it's lagging only the past couple days, but look at it for the month. It's way up on the month. So that doesn't surprise me that it would settle down here. Just because of this big run that it had here back on the 7th, 8th, 9th. I mean, that's huge. So yeah, this what it's been doing here for the past week is almost kind of expected after this big of a run earlier. It's still up 3.5% for the day. So that's not lagging. It's better than Doge and better than Bitcoin for the day. But I know you want to see those huge green candles again, but you know, you don't always get those, especially when they've already happened. But it's not a bad looking chart. I think it's going to chop around in this area for a while, it looks like. But eventually there's going to be a sell-off or a pump again. Good luck with Nero. Good luck with that. Doge parabolic rise phase will start 1 week after the Bitcoin conference. You heard it here first. I look forward to a week after the Bitcoin conference, you saying, I told you so. Okay? Because I want the Doge parabolic phase. I want to hear you say, I told you so. Alts will start moving very soon. Price predictions for when Devlin wins on Sunday. I think Ryan's got it. Devlin won't not lose. Devlin's chance of winning that race, pretty slim. DB, pretty slim. Yeah, Javier, we covered the Trump dinner about 30 minutes ago. Do I create 3D structures? No, I design buildings that get built. We don't really do models anymore. Everything's done with rendering, 3D renderings. So we don't really build models anymore. You can do so much. Look at all angles, twirl buildings around, go in through buildings. You can do all of that digitally now. So there's not a lot of building of models. I wanted to sell 10,000 Doge at 24, but I was in the buy option, didn't double check. Got it. The dinner is tonight. Yes. Nope, this is the Trump token dinner tonight. If Devlin wins, there'll be a pump up to 28 and then back down. Correct, Javier. The meme coin dinner is tonight. Yeah. Down to 10 cents for Doge, M25? I don't think so. Not what the whole crypto market is doing. If the whole crypto market crashed for some reason, that's what it would take. Tim Stebbing said the House of Doge CEO will be named on Tuesday. Well, that could be fun. Unfortunately, the Bitcoin conference will be going on, and that's going to totally rule the news. It's going to be all the Bitcoin stuff next week. But hey, the sooner the better. Joshua, welcome. Got to get caught up. You're welcome, CYR. I'll see. Might scale out. Was up so much like 3 days ago as it front run the market. Now you're kind of stuck, but not that much. You're not that far out. How long did it take to become an architect? 5 years of school and then 3 years of internship. So minimum 8 years to become an architect. The collectible dinner. Exactly. Good evening, Hasty John. How are you? Yes, DB. Or DB. Yes. I've pretty much got it figured out. If you know my birth city, that'll be my clue. I'll just leave it at that. Can you imagine the pump if the Doge car won the race, though? I know, right? I'm just watching to see it on the screen, But you can't really tell. Like in the trial runs, you couldn't really see the Dogecoin. I mean, the car's going 200 miles an hour. It's going so fast. It's like, shoo. You can't really see the Doge. We definitely don't want to see it crashed. We don't want that. That happened to the NASCAR thing. The more recent one, not the one back in 2014, but the more recent one, which was not actually on the main NASCAR. It was the second tier, whatever they call it. The Xfinity. Xfinity was the sponsor for that. It's like the second tier. And it crashed. It was the Dogecoin car. So we don't want that at the Indy 500. Definitely don't want that. I know, but if the Dogecoin car won, this alt season will be different due to institute. No, the institutions are all into Bitcoin. I just don't think there's going to be enough new money coming into alts to really make them pump like they did in 2021. That's what I'm afraid of. So, will Doge hit 22? Well, I mean, that's what we just talked about, right? That was my target on the dip. We could do that. That could still happen. If Bitcoin is going to take a total breather now, and it's going to come down, maybe go after this 108.5, leveraged longs up here at like $168 million in leveraged longs, like we see on the heat map, then yeah, that would be in play. That's what I'm watching for. I don't want Dogecoin to go down, but at this point, some kind of retracement is expected. Everything isn't all parabolic up, up, up. Hey, Nismo, 0.05 Bitcoin, almost 8,000 Doge, 3,500 XRP, 1.2 ETH. That's like a 9. That's a great portfolio. I say it's a 9 out of 10 there for that portfolio. You're not messing around with the stupid meme tokens that may or may not run. Keeping it real. That's a pretty good portfolio. Some might say, well, why don't you take a little bit and put it into like a Pepe or a Bonk or a Whiff or one of those, but just to play a little other meme thing. But you've got Doge in there, so that's good. XRP's in bed with the banks and the lies and all of that, but that doesn't mean the XRP token isn't going to go up. But I still think Doge will greatly outperform XRP. Yep, you remember the mini catalyst? That was the TikTokers in July of 2020. And that is when this was made. Oh, wait a second. Let me get your thing off. There we go. That's when this was made.
We're gonna take Dogecoin to the moon.
Clips. Yes, Ryan, clips. I still have them. They're all here. But that was made in July 2020 to take Dogecoin to $1, and it was less than a penny at the time. There was a whole slew of stuff going on at that time. Oh, yeah. And I was like, I'm not buying that. That's really what I thought at the time. It's the first time I saw Dogecoin. It had already pumped up, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not buying that. And of course, it crashed. The hype just didn't last. But then I bought in at the end of January 2021, and the rest is history. Hey, KB, totally agree. We will not get the same kind of run. Everyone's saying BTC to pump. Yeah. I think this is the start of maybe a bigger dip, 40 cal. We'll see what Bitcoin does. It's now under 111. We'll see if this is going to drift down below 110. Be watching Bitcoin. See what happens. Is there going to be profit taking on Bitcoin? Would you consider selling your Doge now for profit and then rebuy on the dip? I already did a small little swing trade, so I'm doing that. I'm holding everything else, though. Holding everything else. You bought some Meggle. It dipped down to 131, and then it went up to 140 something, and then it went to 136. But here I see aftermarket $1.31. Was that you? Did you get 250 shares of Meggle at $1.31? I see it. If that's you, I see it. 250 shares at $1.31. Is that you? Haha, the cat is in the chat. Ah! That's where you are, Pax Cat. I was wondering where you are. You're in the chat. That's your favorite of all the clips, Adam? Everybody loves that one. Playing the whole song gets a little annoying. But just that clip, yeah, that's enough. All eyes on Doge, so much better. XRP whales refuse to give me my $2 back. Dogecoin and Bitcoin is the best portfolio. You've got 10 AVAX for the gaming platform. Okay, that's cool. No comment. See, I know. That is you. See, I got the tools here. I can see this stuff. On the stock side, I can see the stuff. $1.31, great price. Pax Cat on his iPad. Exactly. I'm moving out. Did I look for the Pokemon cards? I did. And look what I found, just for you. And in fact, I'll go big for this. Low roller. I was waiting for you to come on. I did. I found this. Look at that. Got the big Pokemon bag here. I found the bag. And I knew the little collectibles were in here, but I thought the cards were in here too. So I opened it up. This is what I got. I opened it up and there's no cards, but there's a lot of collectibles in here. So I got a lot of little these guys, right? I mean, they had them all, or a ton of. I don't know what they all are, but the cards aren't in here. So I don't know where the cards are. Well, I gotta show Pikachu, of course. Pikachu. Pikachu. Oh, hi, everybody. So I've got all these, but the cards aren't in here. So I got to do some more hunting. Actually, they got about 10 Pikachus in here. They got a lot of Pikachus in here. So I got all these, but these probably aren't worth anything, is my guess. I don't know. I could sell them as a lot on eBay and maybe get $5 for it or something. That's not going to do much. I'd rather just save these for the kids, you know, future kids, my future grandkids, right? But if they're old, they'll be worth something. Yeah. Oh, Charlotte, if you're working, you're working. I get it. Making money is important. But yeah, some of these are pretty cool. I don't know what they all are though. I was never really into the Pokemon stuff, so I don't know what the names of any of these things are. That's a Lediba. Yeah, these are all early ones, I think. I don't know what they are. But yeah, there's... But the cards weren't in here, so now I got to go into a further hunt. Hariyama. Yeah. I have no idea. Anyway, so we have this, right, with all these little characters in there. But no cards yet, low roller. So the search will continue. The search will continue. But thanks for asking. But I did try, and I found the bag. Don't know where the cards are. The Melania coin will pump since she will be considered a saint for putting up with everything that's going on around her. What happened with Sui? Yeah, there was a hack. It wasn't directly on the blockchain, though. We did talk about, for those that weren't here earlier, we did talk about Bitcoin Pizza Day. If you didn't see my post on X, Bitcoin Pizza Day, and we're having pizza here that I didn't pay Bitcoin for. Bitcoin Pizza Day. Happy, everyone. Let me open a new X tab. Is X up and running? Yes. Nope, not yet. X is still having problems. I'll just do it on this one, and I'll just have to do. So it's Sui hack. See, if you don't want to find out, you just go here. They're blocking transactions for the $200 million hack that happened on Sui. We've learned that a Cetus smart contract was hacked this morning for approximately $223 million, and Cetus subsequently paused their smart contracts to prevent further theft. Cetus worked together with the other DeFi protocols, the Sui Foundation, and the Sui validators to collectively protect the ecosystem. A large number of validators identified the addresses with the stolen funds and are ignoring transactions on those addresses until further notice. Wow, you can do that? This is what Jesus Martinez says about decentralization is a lie, because they can do that. The Cetus team is exploring paths to recover those funds and return them to the community. An incident report from Cetus is forthcoming. So that's what happened on Sui. And then if you didn't see the price this morning, there was a huge dip this morning, all the way down to $3.59. Came back up to about $3.90 and is now dropping again back to $3.81. It was up here at $4.15. So not great for Sui. Not great. That's why Dogecoin should just remain its own thing, proof of work, currency, and not get into all this smart contract crap where you've got Dogecoin sitting on in some contract where there can be a hack on the contract, and then it'll look bad for Doge. That's why I don't want all that crap for Dogecoin. I don't want it. Because this stuff like this can happen. Same thing happened to Harmony One like 3 years ago. And everyone said, oh, Harmony One is hacked. It wasn't Harmony One. It was the Ronan Bridge. The bridge got hacked. Anyway, that's my take on that. That's my take on that. $40 Cal, don't be a jerk. LOL. LOL to you too, idiot. God, so dumb. Pikachu's for all the members. I love the Pax Cat. No, Charlotte, I'm not going to tell you off. I made fun. I'm sorry yesterday you were late because you were working. I get it. I get it. What matters is you're here now. Let's start an auction. I'll offer 1,000 Doge for the lunch pail and the collectibles for 1,000 Doge. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. Making money to buy more Doge. That's the right kind of thinking right there. My 8-year-old daughter loves Pokemon. Yeah, I know Pikachu. I don't know the others. If you find the Pokemon cards, go to TCG Player. Okay. Charizard's the best. Peak. I haven't looked at Peak in a little while. Yeah, just not doing much. Hanging out about 12 cents, 13 cents. Not enjoying the Bitcoin all-time high. Where can it go? No, 28 cents is where I first bought. That's that light blue line, 28 cents. It's been as high as 75 cents. Now down at 12. So, reclaiming 30 cents would be a big move for it. Long-term hold. Heard Boston will be trading their top players. It's a rumor. We don't know what's going to happen. The biggest rumor is that they're going to trade one of their top players and two of their mid players to Dallas for the number 1 pick to get Cooper Flag. That's not going to happen. Give Brown to San Antonio. Why would we give you Jaylen Brown? Right. No. How fun. My kids played with Pokemon cards. You were just being silly, 40 cal. It was still kind of dumb. Dogecoin is Bitcoin, but with unlimited coins. I wouldn't say unlimited, right? It just has more coins without a cap. So a continual coins. In other words, Bitcoin eventually is going to stop producing more Bitcoins. There can be no more mining. Nobody's going to know what happens to Bitcoin then. Dogecoin will continue working. So for the long term, Dogecoin works better as a currency because it's still alive and they're still mining. That will continue to happen. There'll be no more mining of Bitcoin. Not for new coins, because there's no more coins to give. All you'll be mining for are the fees on transactions. But if everybody's holding it and there's no more transactions, then there's no fees. So we don't know what happens to Bitcoin then. I mean, that's 100 years away. Not my problem right now. But Dogecoin is designed to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So it's unlimited over infinite amount of time, but it's fixed in the number of blocks that are made and how much Doge is given out as rewards to the miners. I wonder how this will go over the summer. Some people expect summer growth. Others expect to cool down. I'm expecting more sideways with some dips. Kind of in between. Always buying more Doge. You're always here. Part of your evening routine. Driving home. It's a good nightly routine. Yeah, that was quite a game yesterday. I got 20 Doge. I won 20 Doge from the game yesterday. Woohoo! Hodl on peak 10-4. That's my plan. I mean, trade. You got assets? You guys have assets? We need big assets, though. and you're not trading Wemby, and you're not trading Castle. So if you're not trading Castle and you're not trading Wemby, there's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about, Ryan. Boston is going to be paying big time luxury taxes next year. You got to dump. We have to dump salary. And the only way to do that is to trade for a whole boatload of players that you end up cutting. Or you just pay the luxury tax. Is 22.9 still in play? So we've just been watching the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to determine if Bitcoin comes down here to 1085, Dogecoin will go down to. The Doge map itself is not going to really show the targets. It's just not going to show the targets as well. Bitcoin shows the targets here, right down here, 1085. So for Doge, I would have to see what the percentage drop is here to come down to 23 cents. Right now, it's starting to enter the zone where it's about to do some liquidations here, some leverage longs. But I think more of that is going to rely on what Bitcoin does. And is Bitcoin going to drop and start taking out all this leverage? Kind of thinking that's going to happen. If there's enough weakness in the buying of Bitcoin now that the day is over, right? Will we see this kind of dip in Bitcoin? That's going to determine whether Doge goes down to 22 cents or not, in my opinion. Memes will have a run. Wish you'd say it's going up next always. Yeah, I'm not one of those guys. I tell you when I think it's going up. I'm not always right. No mining Bitcoin. We all dead. It's useless. Again, that's a problem that's 100 years from now. But in the long term, what does that mean? Exactly. What does that mean? I'm waiting for my pizza. Going to be making pizza after the stream to celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day. I'm cooking and randomly thought, imagine wanting to buy XRP. It was just with Ryan here last night, low roller, not on a website. It was just here. Ryan thought the Knicks would win last night. So we just had a little deal. There's no betting site for accepting Dogecoin that I know of. Not in the United States. There might be some outside of the US. Yeah, I don't think Brown is a real number one. I mean, by pairing him with Tatum, that's a really good pair. But Tatum's going to be out most of next year with that Achilles thing, and it's going to be a tough year for if the new owner really comes in, ends up really buying the team. Not going to be really profitable next year because they're not going to be as good. But we'll see what Brown can actually do to lead the team while Tatum's out. Can still have a good team and win a bunch of games. Probably would be over 500. But that salary. Oh. But they knew it. They thought they'd get another championship this year. Didn't happen. You think Brown will step up? He's a beast when he is. I mean, he won the finals MVP last year. I mean, he dominated. Yeah. Way too early to talk about next year. Are they even going to try or not? I don't know. I'm thinking it might start going up this weekend. Not sure. Many cryptos need to choose between trends real soon. True that. Can you at least say it's always possible for us to have another run up? Yeah, I do say that all the time. But I talk about these things called catalysts that Doge needs to have the big run up. And I've consistently said, I think it's going to be in the fall. I've said it for 5 months now, like a broken record. I know people don't want to wait that long. I know it's so far away. You keep saying October. It's so far away. Yep. That's when time in the market from that saying is important. Patience. So that's when you end up doing things stupid in the short term, like stupid swing trade, because you get bored. Oh. You bet Doge yesterday and won. Bitcoin Cash, is that moving? Oh, there's a lot of them moving. Up 7% today. Not as much as Mudang. Not as much as Mew. Well, that was a nice move this morning, though. Whatever that was about, something made it move this morning, and it's just gone sideways since. So, yeah, that was this morning. Bitcoin Cash had this big run. I don't know why. But it's holding that line, 438. Bitcoin dipped under 111. Hard to say that. Bitcoin just dipped under $111,000. Hard to get used to that. Run up today? No. Bro, no. To the moon. Oh, it's going to pump. Let's go. No, not happening. Bitcoin Cash got to $9.99. When do you think parabolic phase will happen for Doge? Yes, exactly, Matt. Exactly my point. Not today. Not today. Was it really $9.99? $2021, it went up to $1,500. And then back in the end of 2017, it was up at $3,000. It hit $3,000. So, yeah, it's actually lower highs every 4 years. So far this year, it's 723. Yeah, we'll just call it just over 700 so far. Lower highs on the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin Cash. Can you make money on it? Sure, if you buy it down in the bottom of the bear market. If you bought it at $100 down here, and now it's at 438, that's a nice 4x return. But then just about everything was doing that. So, yeah. But it was higher. 2021, $1,500. Bitcoin's weekly chart is like a beast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row of green candles. Just up, up, up. But nothing else has done that. Doge had 2 red weeks in there. ETH had 2 red weeks in there. Algorand had 2 red weeks in there. Solana had 1 red week in there. A beast Bitcoin has been. Yeah, we talked about the Trump meme coin dinner about an hour ago. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's crypto. It's like making money. BCH is my wild card. You never know. VP said the top will be in March this year. We already passed March. I don't know what that means with VP. I mean, VP thought that last December 48 cents was the top, and he was all bearish, and he was like the bull cycle's over. That's what I remember. Now, if he's changed since then, he's changed since then. I get that, but he was pretty convinced January, February, March, and into April that it was all bearish. Bear, bear, bear. And I'm like, it's a pullback in a bull market. Aave, 7 green weeks. Aave's done very well. Yes, I do have that here. I used to own this. I used to own Aave. Yeah, look at that. There might be some others. Stacks didn't. Ah, look at that big tail on Stacks. That's wild. Fetch, nope. Jasmy? Nope, Jasmy had reds in there too. Not many. Litecoin is red this week. Definitely not Sheep. Yeah, Aave, that's about it. Good find. Hope it goes back to 40 cents. That'd be good. 48 cents though. You'd sell a third. That's the good plan. I believe that. Just take a slice, right? Take some profit. You don't know what's going to happen. If there are people who are still confused between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, I guess there would be, right? New people coming in. Bitcoin's $110,000, but I can buy this thing called Bitcoin Cash for $400. I'll just buy that. Right? Dogecoin miners. I think it's profitable mining Dogecoin. Certainly more profitable if the price is up higher, but at least now you're earning Doge at this price with the eventuality that that Doge is going to go up if you're able to hold on to it. You still have to pay your utility bills, for running your rigs, but with the inevitability that the Doge price is going to go up, then there's going to be more competition for mining. The hash rate's going to go up. The Doge price will go up even more. And I think in the long run, Dogecoin mining is going to be more profitable than Bitcoin mining. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But yeah, that's why I'm considering getting a decent mining rig and, just checking it out, even though I know I pay very expensive electricity costs here in Boston. Part of it is just to help out the Dogecoin network and learn something new, have a little fun. It'll cost me a little bit, but if I'm earning Dogecoin at 23 cents and then Dogecoin goes to 73 cents, right? Then I'm making money. Joshua, are you late for the Trump dinner? You own a bunch of Trump tokens? You're gonna go meet with the prez? Talk crypto? Sit next to Justin Sun? Oh, kidding. But hey, glad you made it. I'm going to have pizza tonight in celebration of Bitcoin Pizza Day 15 years ago. 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. Yeah, Arbram, people have asked me about this PayPay thing, and it's not Pepe. So I didn't even look at it. I think I looked at it once during a live stream, and I was just like, no, thank you. Doge mining is more profitable now. If you've got good low electricity costs, it can be. You're tracking it. Yeah, I'll set up some kind of tracking thing once I get into it. That's one of my projects for the summer, is to check that out. Got too much going on right now. Your Bitcoin miners only make a fraction of what your Doge miners do. Wow. Well, there you go. So my future thought of Dogecoin mining doing better than Bitcoin mining in your case is already true. Wow. And Jack is correct. If it wasn't for people like Laszlo, Bitcoin wouldn't be where it's at. Somebody had to use it for the first time for something. And these were all just on message boards, just the people who were into Bitcoin. It was like a hobby because Bitcoin had no value. There was no price for people to say, oh, Bitcoin was worth 40 cents then. Well, no, it wasn't. Bitcoin had no value until Laszlo actually bought the pizzas. And then there was a value. The price of the 2 pizzas, $40, let's say. I'm being generous, but just for the math, right? And 10,000 Bitcoin. You do the math, you get the value of a Bitcoin. Because there was no exchanges, there was none of that. Nobody was trading Bitcoin even. They were just mining it for the fun of it as a hobby. I guess you could buy it from somebody if you met them somewhere, right? You'd actually have to meet them. People were doing that. I guess online you probably could have exchanged wallet addresses, but yeah, that's how it was. Ricky, peak. If you want to buy it at 12 cents. I mean, we don't know what it's going to do. Have no idea. Do your research. Look at where it's traded. Look at the inflation of the tokens, right? And then you determine what the best price is for you. There are interviews with Laszlo, and he's like, secretly, I think Laszlo had many, many more Bitcoins than those 10,000. And he's very rich right now. So I don't think he's too worried. But he didn't say that. But I kind of guessed that he did okay. He did all right. He's not all that upset. Yeah, he's upset that those 10,000 Bitcoin are gone, but he had other Bitcoin too. And if he held on to those, he's doing okay. Let's get some likes in the chat. Thank you, Kilmar. Appreciate it. Just trying to keep things real here. None of this overhyped stuff. Trying to keep it real. And I'm with you guys. I mean, yes, I did get the house, but I'm now buying back in again, trying to make a little more money here. Investing in crypto. Not going to go crazy with all these other alts now. Keep my portfolio rather narrow. That's my plan. And yeah, I'm going to try and do some swing trading and make a little extra here and there, and still going to have some fun with some stocks and do some swing trading on some stocks and do all of that. What I was doing before my 2.5-year plan from the depths of the bear market. I'm going to make a video on that on Saturday. To explain why I sold my house and why I invested it in cryptocurrency. Tell the story. So I'm making that video on Saturday. Unless something like crazy is going on with Bitcoin and Doge. But I think we just had the craziness and now it's going to settle down here for Friday into the weekend. We'll see. Potential dips, though. I mean, that's out there. We'll see whether this kind of little dipsy-do thing might happen or not. Ali asked me to draw it, and so we'll see. I don't know. Yes, true. It is insane, though, that 10,000 Bitcoin is now worth more than $1 billion. It is. There's a lot of people who used to have a lot of Bitcoin that ended up, as soon as Bitcoin got to like $100, they dumped it all because who knew what Bitcoin was going to be in the future? So there's a lot of people regretting selling Bitcoin 12 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, who knew, right? But there are some who held on, and they're now very rich. Could the same happen with Dogecoin? We don't know. Remains to be seen. All right, I got a pizza to make, guys. I hope everyone has a great evening. Be live again tomorrow on a Friday. Having some fun for a Friday stream. So come back for that. Hey, if we have a green Sunday, that'll be 2 Sundays in a row. That would be awesome. We will look for that as well. I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.